Good morning, YouTube. It's Ryan. It is about 7:30 on January 14th, and we're down here at Station 2. We're chilling with Engine 2. And I decided to do this video after I put up the 44030 flasher because some people were going to wonder what the heck I was doing with that. And as I mentioned in the description of that, a lot has changed over the past couple of months from when you guys saw me put the Liberty on top of Victoria. So without too much dawdling, go ahead, right face. And this is what I did. YouTube, meet Ivy. Ivy is a 2015 Ford F-250 Super Duty XLT trim package. She's got a 6.2 V8 gas engine under the hood. Aside from the other standard F-250 things that it would have, like towing mirrors, she does have the cab lights, which were not, they didn't come standard. They were an upgrade. They were a $55 upgrade, actually, that the previous owner had put on. It also has the running boards on it, bed cover, has a 10,000-pound rear axle with 373 gear ratio, electronic locking differential, has sync for my phone, iPod, whatever. 4 upfitter switches in the dashboard for controlling various extra things. And it also has a remote starter in it that's right in the factory key. So, cool stuff. Oh, it also has a Sirius XM radio puck right there. I haven't actually tried it yet because usually I just keep it on my iPod, but we'll see what happens. So, as far as the why goes for this truck, as some may know from talking to me in public, I had a couple issues with Victoria. For clarification, Victoria is my 2004 F-250 with a 6.8 liter V10. I really only had one issue with that truck, and I'm not allowed to talk about it because it's about to go up for sale, and we're still working on getting it corrected. But right now, she's over at the body shop getting some paint work done because there was some spots on that truck that needed some paint, like the tailgate and the back quarter panel by the rear tire right about there. And whatever paint's left over, the guy said he's going to do a bunch of other paint spots on the truck if he finds them, like behind the headlights. Anyway, so I had to get a new truck. And I settled on Ivy here because of a couple of different reasons. One, she's 2015 and Victoria was an 04. And as much as I love the older trucks, it was made painfully clear to me that I needed to get with the times and get something that was within the decade at the time. I got this truck in the beginning of December. A second reason is because it's newer, it would be easier to upfit with new stuff if I wanted to do so. And the third reason I went with this truck is it only had 29,000 miles, 29,972 to be precise, when I first went to look at it on the dealership. For those that are wondering and want a free advertisement, Conroy Motors in Java Center, New York, great bunch of guys to work with. They actually are the ones that delivered this truck first, so to speak. So the original owner of this truck bought it from there, and then he went back and traded it in there. And apparently he's done that a bunch of times with this dealership. So they knew the history of this truck inside and out. They said it hasn't even towed a trailer before. So I'm kind of impressed with that. And the fact that it was just a low mileage truck, it pretty much sold me. So as far as what I'm going to do to it, in comparison to the old truck, it's still going to have all of the same things on it. You know, obviously because I have the bed cover on the back of it, I'm not going to put a back rack on it. Before anyone says anything, I probably could put a back rack on it. I probably could put the back rack on it from the old truck, but I'm leaving the old one on there as a selling point, and it wasn't really the right truck, or it wasn't the right rack for the truck. Anyway, it fit nicely, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do, but it wasn't the correct style rack for that truck. It was for an F-150. Toolbox is also not coming over because, again, I have the bed cover. and I'm not taking that off because I might use that as a tent if I'm out on long searches or something. All of the same equipment is going to come over, like the light bar, the radios, but because I'm not using the rack, everything's going in the roof. The antenna, well, 3 of the antennas are going in the roof. I haven't decided if I want to put the 4th one in the roof, or if I want to put the 4th one on the fender somewhere, or if I want to try a glass mount antenna for UHF or CB or something. But 3 out of the 4 are going on the roof, and the light bar is going on the roof. Basically, when I'm done with installing everything on this truck, it's going to look like a beefed up version of the New York State Forest Ranger trucks. Yes, I am putting a push bar on this truck for one reason and one reason only, because I've already hit a deer with it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, within 2 days of purchasing a brand new truck, I hit a freaking deer. Yay me. This was about 2 days after my old man had hit a deer and tore off the front of his brand new car. And he had a push bar. So I'm putting one on. As far as that goes, I'm going to reuse the blue grill lights, or the blue bumper lights, the 400 series in the Grillmaster housings that I had in the old truck. I am going to reuse those. I'm also going to reuse the amber 500 series LEDs off of the grill of the old truck. And that's it. I'm not going to reuse anything else off the bumper. Those amber fog lights and the white fog lights have been reconnected and are being sold with the old truck. So I'm planning on getting a set of Hella 550 Comet series amber driving lights, the 55 watt driving lights, because I wanted the 55 watts. And it's a lot cheaper to buy a pair of H3s than it is to buy even one par 36 bulb like the 4 I had on the front of the truck. The other thing I'm thinking about doing with this truck, and I haven't really decided how I'm going to do it, is it also involves that 44030 flasher. I'm going to hook up 4 amber lights still, but because I won't have the Mini Maxes in the back, I have a pair of 600 series Whelen LEDs. They're the older 5mm heads, just like the 500 series amber heads. They actually are about the same size as this light on engine 2. This is actually a code 3, but it's still 6 inches long and 4 inches tall. And I haven't decided if I want to put them here where the fog light normally would be if this truck had them, or if I want to get a bracket kit and mount them on the push bar once I put that on. I really will have to figure that out once I put the push bar on. That's the biggest thing. Because if I put them there, they might get broken off, or they might get ruined, and I really don't want to do that because I paid a lot of money for them, even though they're older lights, they're brand new in the packaging. Excuse me. So, and it would also make it easier to take it off and put it on another truck, or take it off and not have any holes to fill when I get ready to trade this truck in however many years I have it. Assuming I even trade it in, I might just drive the wheels off of it once I pay it off. But in any case, so yeah, spoiler alert, I wasn't going to reuse the Mini Max beams that were on the back rack of the last truck unless I put a rack on this truck, which again, I'd like to. I don't know if I will, because I really don't want anything to go through the rear window of this truck, especially since this tonneau cover, bed cover, whatever the heck you want to call it, especially since I'm not entirely sold on keeping it. I do like it. I really do like it, because if I do this, it does not have a spring-assisted tailgate, like many believe it does, but it is a little easier to maneuver and handle than my old one. But the way this bed cover works is it's got 2 releases, one there and one there, and it flips right up. So you could, in theory, sleep in the bed as long as you put necessary stuff where you needed to. obviously because I have all my stuff in the back there. And then there's a 2x6 going across. 2x6 or 2x4? I think it's a 2x4. Either way, I got a wood plank going across there to hold that in place. Normally that would be for a weight, for like sandbags or something to hold weight in the back of this truck. Also present is one of the consoles that I'm planning on using. I have two of them. I still have the one out of the F-150, but the more important thing that I got with the console is I got the correct mounting bracket for this truck. So this should, in theory, go right where the center console is in the truck. It'll pop right out. That one's for an F-150. And, you know, this will replace the center. I might get a different console because I really don't like that one as much as... I'm sorry, Jeff. It works great. It worked great for you when you had two of them, but I really just want one piece. So I've got a couple other places I can check out for cheap consoles. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, moving on. Go ahead and close this back up. That is actually nice. And it's nice that I can keep the stuff out here in the open. I don't have to put it in a tub or something and worry about it getting wet or crappy or whatever. The only thing I have to worry about is it getting cold, which it did that anyway. So, but yeah, so I'm not really sold on whether I'm keeping that cover or not. If I do, it'd be nice. But if I don't, I'll probably put a different one on that will allow me to put a back rack on. And then just use a tent like a normal person when I'm going on outings. So, as far as the equipment that I currently have in this truck, I just have my Dashmiser strobe dash light on the front. And then I tactically acquired a Speedtech Lights Striker 8 traffic advisor from a friend of mine who had it in his old truck and then isn't reusing it in his new truck because it doesn't fit. So it was sitting on his shelf, and I asked to borrow it for a couple of days while I was in a spare vehicle before I got this one. And he said, sure. So I'll go ahead and turn those on. Right now I have it on a scanning pattern. So if I flip up on this switch here, it'll go into warning mode. And if I go down, it will go into traffic advisor mode. And then that's why I use these three buttons over here to change the direction, which you can also tell which direction it's going by this indicator right here. You can also tell what pattern it's, or at least what pattern is flashing. Another cool feature, it also has an auxiliary output tied into the warning mode, the top position there. So you can power a dash light or something with this controller. It doesn't have to be specific to Speedtech either. It can be pretty much anything. However, the wires for it are really small, so I would highly suggest putting a relay to it if you're going to do anything larger than like another LED light. I put a halogen, or I put a 55 watt Code 3 dash laser on it, and I was kind of worried that I was going to burn the thing down. But in any case, as far as the radio, it's just a silly mag mount antenna with a Motorola, old school Motorola barrel antenna on there. I call it a barrel antenna because it had one of those old school barrel springs on it like you see on older CB ball mount antennas. But I took that one off and replaced it with a Child's .100 inch tapered, well, not tapered whip. It's got a giant static ball on the end of it, and that's why I went for it. Kind of a classic look. And then I just have a Motorola XTL 5000 dash mount VHF 50 watt mobile. I don't know why it's in direct mode. I must have pushed it by accident. It has a W7 Astro Series controller or control head on it. And the reason I went for the W7 on this particular radio is it gave me all of the same features as my W9 head did without the zone display. The only thing I couldn't get was the zone display because this is only 8 characters and all of my channel names and aliases are, you guessed it, 8 characters. So, anyway, we'll turn the lights on. Yes, the parking lights do come on when I close the door, like most Ford vehicles. I do love the look of that Dashmiser. You can't go wrong with a Dashmiser. And there's the Striker. Now those are tier 4 LEDs, so they're 4 LEDs to a head. They're not like the linear LEDs, which is what I prefer. But for the price of free, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm going to scan through the patterns for a second. Now, the other thing I would change about this bar, if I could change the LED heads in it, which I can't, it's not like the new generation ones, I would change it so the outside 2 LEDs on either side are blue and the inside 4 are amber. So it would be blue, blue, amber, 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 blue, blue. I would change that only because then on that pattern I can have that and it would still be blue on all sides. So that's just what I do. But like I said, for the price of free, not gonna argue with it. And then, like I said, this is the integrated controller, which the actual display for it is right there where the mileage is. Right now it has 32,000 miles. Yes, I drove that much in 2 months. And then there's the auxiliary switches, which they only come on with the truck. These two are 30 amp switches, and these two are 15 amps. So there's 2 30 amp relays and 2 15 amp relays controlling these. And then there's my 4-wheel drive. The other nice thing about this truck, like I said, is it has sync. So all I have to do is just plug my iPod in right there, and then I can use the steering wheel control right here to change everything around. I'm pretty sure I can also sync my phone to it at the same time, but I'm not entirely sure. So with that, that's all I got on this truck. Stay tuned for more whacktastic stuff that I'm going to do with it. The main goal in the next 2 weeks is to get the light bar and the antennas mounted, or at least 3 of the antennas, so I can put the VHF, UHF, and decide between the CB or the low band in. Probably going to be the low band only because I can listen to the snowplows on that and occasionally other counties if I have to. Because surprisingly, some counties near mine still use low band. I can pick up Jefferson County pretty good. And that was with the low band mounted on the fender. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you see. Check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys.